Do you identify as being a creative person, but you also have not made art for a long time? Maybe even a really long time? Don't worry. All you need are these inspiring exercises that I'm going to share with you to unlock your creative potential. And I totally know what it's like to go months and even years without making art. In fact, I used to own an in-person art studio. And the first year that I owned my own art studio, I did not make my own art. I only made art for the classes and other people. It's really easy to get into a rut where we're focused on what we're supposed to do and our work and other people and neglect our own creative expression. And after making art with thousands of people and having a master's in art therapy, I know really great techniques for getting these creative wheels turning again. And in case we haven't met yet, I'm Michelle Baker, creatrix of Art as a Soul Language. I help creative women use art to receive messages from their soul, guiding them towards purpose and fulfillment later in life. I'm going to share with you 5 different exercises that will help get your creative wheels turning again. Some are going to be warm-up exercises, and then some are going to be deeper exercises because when you haven't made art for a long time, it's really nice to do a warm-up activity. And I'm actually pulling these from an ebook that I made several years ago that offers 15 different exercises. So if you want to have all 15, there's a link for that below this video that's totally free, but I'm going to go through 5 of them. In terms of warm-up exercises that are helping you transition from not making art to making art at least a little bit, I feel like everybody already knows about scribbling. So, either non-dominant hand, both hands, scribbling to kind of warm up. So I'm not going to tell you that one because I think it's common knowledge. Instead, the first exercise that I want to share with you that will help you warm up and transition is a blind contour drawing. And what that looks like, here I'm going to grab a pen, is taking a pen or a pencil and a piece of paper. And you'll want to have like a book or something underneath of it so that it's solid. And all you do is look at something in your room, something that's kind of interesting and intriguing to you, maybe a plant. And you focus on looking at the plant and drawing without looking at your drawing. So the goal here is not to make it look like the plant at all. The goal is actually for you to look at the plant and just notice all the interesting details and allow your hand to move and try to mimic it without any real concern about what the end product looks like. Think about it. If you're not able to look at the picture, then you can't expect yourself to have it look good. Instead, it really is a warm-up. It's like, what's it like to look at something in an artistic way, kind of turning on that part of the brain, and to have my hand move around and just make marks on a piece of paper. So that's my first awesome warm-up exercise. The second warm-up exercise that I absolutely love, I call a visual brain dump. And what that means is, again, piece of paper, pen, pencil, whatever you want to write with. And what you're going to do is just like download everything that you're thinking about or worrying about, whether it be past, present, future, work, home life, doesn't matter. And you can do this in a number of different ways. So allow yourself to follow what feels good to you. So you could do it with words, and maybe you put each thing that you're focused on in a bubble or a cloud. You could also do it with pictures where you're like, oh, I'm really focused on the fight me and my husband had. So you might draw 2 little stick figures fighting each other. But what you're going to be doing is representing in some way with words or with images what is taking up space in your brain. And what's really great about this one is as you unload what's in your mind onto paper, you actually will feel a little bit of a relief. You're like, whoo, there it is. And so part of knowing how long to do this exercise for is that you keep doing it until there's nothing left. You're like, okay, you kind of like keep checking in. Did I get everything? Oh, there's this little thing. Oh, there's this big thing. And then after a while, you're like, yeah, that's pretty much it. And that actually is helpful to the brain to be like, it feels so overwhelming. It feels like I have a million things going on, but I actually was able to convey it all on a piece of paper. And the paper ends up being the holder of it. So that really helps the mind let go in a new way. So this exercise not only is a good transition into art making, is something useful that you can use any day of the week to just feel less stressed out. The third warm-up exercise is a collage of things that inspire you. So obviously this would take some magazines, although you could actually do it on Pinterest instead. So if you don't have magazines at home, go on Pinterest and just find things that you feel inspired by, things that are beautiful to you. You don't have to have any reason for them, and they don't have to match each other or look good together. So I could imagine myself like pulling out pictures of succulents and then pulling out pictures of beautiful women, and it doesn't matter, but you put them all together either on your collage board or in your Pinterest board, and it just helps you by spending time and sort of swimming in things that are beautiful and inspiring to you. It helps to activate that part of your brain that wants to be more creative. So those are just 3 of some of the warm-up exercises that I have in my ebook. And now I'm going to move on to a couple deeper inspiring exercises that you can do. And just real quick, if you're finding this video helpful, it would also help me if you leave a comment or a like, just so that it reaches more people. A fourth inspiring art exercise that you can do once you've warmed up and you're ready to go a little bit deeper is to make art about your favorite song or your favorite poem, whatever really kind of stirs your heartstrings. So I am really moved by music, and that works well for me. But if you're like, that's not really my in, then think about if you're moved by poetry or a movie that was really impactful for you. It actually doesn't matter what it is, but what we're doing is looking for a source that already resonates with us in a particular way, and then using that as a jumping off point for our own art. And this can be incredibly abstract. It can just be like, what does it make me feel? Like, I'm going to think about music for a second. And somebody I love is Queen and Freddie Mercury. And all I have to do is like listen to the song and feel the way that it makes me feel. And imagine how, like, what color does that make me think of? What kind of lines would I do with it? It doesn't have to be representational at all. I don't have to draw a picture of something happening. I can just really enjoy the abstract expression of how the song makes me feel. And the cool thing about a song is that it has different parts to it. So the beginning might be slow and melodic and look a certain way, and then the middle might be really exciting, and then the end might be something else. So imagine how you might convey that all in a single piece of paper with different colors and different lines and shapes. My fifth exercise that will be fun and get your creative juices flowing is a surrealism drawing. So what you're going to do for this one is take 2 very different things and put them together in a super unique way. So for example, what if you took a bird and a tree and morphed them together in a really unique way? This just challenges your brain to have like a creative problem to solve. How am I going to put these 2 things together? And it's completely up to you. So we could give the same exercise to 100 people and we would get 100 different results. So this is a fun way to just see, like, what would I do with that? And you don't have to limit it to only 2 really different things, but it just helps make it simpler on the mind. And if you're like, well, I don't know what 2 different things to choose, you could even go to your phone or the computer and do like a random generator. I didn't know they had this, but I was doing something with my daughter and I looked up like random animal generator and they have that. So they probably have like random image generator or whatever. So if you need help finding the 2 things that are going to go together that don't normally go together, you can also use the tool to get you to that place as well. Okay, I hope that you're feeling inspired. Just talking about this with you helps me feel more inspired, and you can even notice and feel into what got you feeling the most creatively drawn out, because that's part of what you're doing, is tracking what pulls you out, what causes you to want to take a step forward in your own art making. And that's why I have 15 options in my little ebook that's for free. So I'm going to put a link to that in the comments below, because I love being able to help people get inspired and make more art in their life. So thank you for watching, and check out some of my other videos as well if you'd like more inspiration.